I know it's hard to fathom, but there's heavy implications these two are in the same universe. But you'll see when you watch the rest of this video. You guys remember in the Hercules movie where he was in the process of training, but ended up becoming this? Tell me why you get an idea of how strong this is based on what is the heavy stuff this guy has lifted before he even got to this level. Hercules has loyal buddies like Pegasus, which he got at a young age to break chains to help the gods get free. Even myth feats appeared in this Hercules saga, like
Atlas, the Titan who's cursed to forever hold up the sky.
He relieved Atlas of his duty, the Titan, to holding up the sky even young, letting you know his power, immeasurable strength. And this is Hercules not in his prime. It's easy to underestimate how strong Disney Hercules is because of the Disney-esque nature, but don't let that fool you. A lot of the feats in his movie was actually him technically depowered, if we're being completely honest. Because as a baby, he had this godly glow, how all the gods had this godly glow, but he still had super strength to do stuff like that, because he's the deity of strength. Thanks to Hades and his henchmen, drunk this bull crap right here, almost made him completely unimmortal, losing his glow. The only thing that saved him is he didn't drink the last drop, so he still had godlike strength, which led to him going through power progression throughout the years, and he actually had to do hard work and dedication type training type stuff. Don't get it twisted, he's still able to do this to these snake henchmen of Hades with ease as a baby, even when he's almost basically depowered, to show that he's just godlike. There's implications as a baby he can lift a house in this little sing-along where they're telling about his life journeys and stuff of that such. Massive statues he can pull out the ground like that. When he's a teenager and finally developing himself, showing the strength to do that to a tree. Can lift heavy BS like this, still understanding how strong he is that far. Just a normal day in the life, kicking over a giant tree while having a singing montage. I can go the distance, throws this rock this far, not knowing his own strength, playing catch. Part of this is because of his durability. He'd be able to knock over this column like that. Even though weight-wise, I don't understand how he would be able to do that, but yeah, he tried to fix it, but ended up messing it all up. Hercules, get your strength under control, buddy. If you want to go by his intro when it comes to strength of the TV show, you see him doing this to the snake as a teenager. Big giant foot, he just overpowers it. Even giant creatures like this. Big old lions, snakes, doesn't matter. Giant temples he can lift up. Ripping doors off the hinges. He's strong enough to hug you to where you can't breathe. Or just throw you in the air by accident. Lifting all of this up with ease. Oh, they're driving around the sun buggy. Oh my gosh, why is the sun so small? You're probably thinking this doesn't mean nothing. Notice how when the sun got dragged away, everything got freaking dark. Yeah, that was actually the sun.
I am going to get that sun back and restore it to the sky where it belongs.
This cat, Hercules, as a teenager, just carried the sun. I know it's small on screen, but this is the actual sun that the world needs to actually have light. You know what I'm saying? Getting the sun back into the sky because of his godlike strength. Yeah, he just lifted it up because he's strong like that. Thanks, son of Zeus.
And so with the sun restored to the firmament, life returned to normal.
You're probably thinking the sun he carried didn't look like the size of the actual sun. I would agree, but the fact that he struggled lifting it, letting you know it did have mass, and the fact we've seen him lift bigger stuff than that size of that miniature sun, it kind of implies it had to have more weight than that for him to be struggling, you know? Not to mention the effects that sun had on the earth, the fact that the sun got taken to the underworld, the sun, like, the world got black as crap, so it's like it has the same effects of our sun, but it just kind of looks small because of cartoon logic or whatever. It depends on how you want to perceive it. Chores that would be hard for normal people, Hercules can do what he's like cleaning up trash because he's just super strong. This because he's just that strong. Brace himself and punch it apart like that to fix stuff. He can curb stomp, tail to slam him another level, throw him that far. Cracking the building in the process. Using this as a bat. Slamming him through different buildings, going through different buildings durability wise. His strength, twirl you around like nothing. Lifting up stuff like this because he's strong like that. You look at all the stuff he can carry out at once. Normal stuff that normal people wouldn't be able to do. A bunch of normal men trying to dogpile him. Get off me, get off me, get off me, get off me, get off me. Why would y'all even try? Too easy and nothing. Stop this big old elephant with his strength because he's that strong. Breaks these chains. Part of the reason why he's strong, he was hanging out with people like Ares, marksmanship as well, targeting practice with spears and stuff, training stuff to help his skills along with his godly strength. And all kinds of combat, like, yeah, I threw it too far. Sword, melee weapons, obstacle course type stuff. Yep, punching through multiple things. Just a common thing he always does. Booyah. Like getting graded accordingly. You remember the Aladdin character, Jafar, the magical wizard? Hercules is even fought him. Fighting speed in this occasion. Seems to always lift up big statues like this in the middle of combat. This is effortless, going through different creatures. like that, and hit him with him. Blitzing Jafar, like that. He actually got in a fight with Aladdin. Hercules did. Let me just lift the whole thing up because he's strong like that. Just look what he does to them, building and shaking it in the process. Just letting you know how much power he can produce whenever he feels like it. Now having to hold the entire thing crumbling on top of him. This crossover happened in the cartoon that was set in between the events of Hercules leveling up, basically, to meet Aladdin and stuff. Basically, if this version of Hercules, who's a teenager, can lift a star, imagine what this one can do. And we're not even going to talk about the golden version of him, his prime, when he became full deity again. He's just a straight-up warrior now. Look how high he punches him in the air. Consecutive strong feats, like lifting this giant boulder in the air to save these kids. He's a true hero now, as you can see. That big of a rock. Then throws it. Notice how we've seen him punch cliffs so hard to where the whole thing shatters in this fight like this. A lot of force he produced on the spot. That many rocks dropped on the Hydra. While all those rocks fell on that Hydra, he was under all of that and he got free. And yes, he actually did defeat the Nemean lion. In his lore, he can jump extremely high in the air. 3 monsters get curb stomped with 1 hit. This dude literally grabbed a tornado that was like mountain size, swings them all the way in the freaking space that far. Yo, Titans that he threw, not only were they mountain size, but they were strong enough to evidently contain Zeus, as long as they stayed on him though. Like, see, it took all these Titans to do this to Zeus. Without Hercules' help, he couldn't get out of this, showing that Hercules was not dead weight. As you can see here, despite these Titans being able to hold back his own father Zeus, Hercules, when he wasn't even in his god essence still, was able to basically defeat them, battlefield move them, pick all of them up, and pretty much hurl them all into space, despite Zeus not being really able to do much, showing that even while his god essence is gone, he isn't dead weight. Let's not forget, even this universe's version of Zeus seems to be implied to have reality warping ability, to be able to create stars like constellations on the whim. Like a whole bunch of stars in the shape of Hercules, how you can casually do this too. Like being able to create a horse like Pegasus, just like that. You guys know how Hellspawns are. They're really striking good at making deals. Like they're really hexy with making deals. Like Hades knew, I guess he knew he couldn't beat Hercules in a slugfest, right? So he wanted to make a deal to, depower him basically. And that's where he truly lied. My mistake. It wasn't him like this that was a threat for him. Like, yeah, as you can see, it's implied Hercules without his godly essence is not really a threat to him, but he didn't want him to team up with Olympus, and the team up of Hercules and Zeus and all the Olympians is what was his downfall, the reason why he made this deal in the first place. So just to give you an idea how strong Hades was, I'm going to come back to this.
Carries the sun out of here, and Zeus wins again. This kid is driving me sugar.
This foe actually lifted the sun. This foe actually lifted the sun. This foe actually lifted the sun.
Yeah, lousy demigod strength. Yeah, lousy demigod strength.
You're probably thinking this is an exaggeration. If he's that strong, why is Hades why is he even annoyed by him? Hades is above him, right? Well, not anymore. Like, remember that scene I showed you of him trying to hurt Hades and his body went back right through him, like intangibility style? Well, when he became full god essence, when he started glowing full orange like this, he became at his full power. Like, and it was implied that Hades, not even at that state, was a match for him. He was immensely stronger than even him. The mega power up. Implied to be league stronger than Hades. Implied that. He had to try to talk him down. This is more than likely the state. Then there's the fact that Hercules' dad, Zeus, has a reputation throughout. Considering that Zeus made a reputation of like literally curb stomping the monsters throughout mythology and this universe's lore. Like really manhandling the monsters.
Titan stepped onto the scene, tried to carve out a niche of his own, and Zeus had to face him alone. He could topple Olympus with one little sneeze, yeah.
Curb stomps a giant titan that can lift mountains up too. The legend of Zeus, right? The reputation of Zeus. Stops a volcano, erupting with a boulder. When he got to his full golden state, he was completely immortal to the point where even the Sisters of Fate couldn't cut his rope when he risked his life for another being, putting their needs before his own, being a true hero. They literally control your fate, but they can't do it to his fate. When he was eaten by the Hydra, he cut his way out. To show the improvement he's gotten over the years, he goes through his gauntlet obstacle course type stuff with ease at this point because he's just that. No sharks for me. And look at the skills, boomerang accuracy, like that. Seems to have superhuman running speed like this to be able to headbutt a being really far. This one can lift a star and it can lift the entire sky, which is like an immeasurable feat. What can this one do and what can the godlike one version do? We've seen this universe's version of Zeus actually create stars on the spot, didn't he? I mean, but that's none of my business, right? Hey, how strong do you think this version of Hercules? He's pretty freaking overpowered. But I also have to give a quick shout out to those that took the time to donate to the channel. Helps out a lot, believe it or not. Respect Hercules.